And now, here is Karen Crawford to give us some ideas about what the stars have in store for us this month. If you want to know more about how the heavens impact you, reach out to Karen at karensmithcrawford.com.
Hello, and welcome to the astrology update for December 2025. Can you believe it is the last month of the year? There's a great Chris Isaak song called The Last Day of the Year. It's so good. I'm not going to sing it because I'm not really a singer. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we have some fun things to talk about today. We will start with the full moon in Gemini, and then we'll cover Neptune going direct, as well as the new moon Sagittarius. And then we're going to talk about the winter solstice and the sun going into the sign of Capricorn, signaling winter in the northern hemisphere. First off, we have the full moon in Gemini, and this will happen on December 4th. Where we have the full moon, the moon is in Gemini, and so therefore we're going to talk about Mercury as the ruler of this lunation. And Mercury just went direct on November 29th. So we're still kind of in that shadow period. But what we can look at with this full moon, full moons are revealing, they're celebrating, and Mercury is all about asking questions and getting curious and communicating ideas. So we can see what is revealed or celebrated around what we're learning and what we know. This could be a boost to communication. Are there things that we need to get off of our chest? Is there something we need to listen to about someone else's viewpoint? It's interesting that we have a square to the nodal axis here. And with the South Node in Virgo, we can think about what do we need to release about feelings of perfectionism? How do we feel when we are maybe overly controlling? With the North Node in Pisces, we can look at how can we embrace compassion and trust our intuition. Neptune goes direct, and that will be at 29 degrees, 22 minutes of Pisces. It's been 158 days that Neptune was retrograde. And now that retrograde appears to be moving forward to us regarding spirituality, compassion, empathy, intuition, we can kind of think about how we're moving our spirituality and those things forward starting in this new year. And we have the new moon Sagittarius coming up on December 19th. This is our last new moon of the year. And with it being towards the end of 2025 and we're on that brink of 2026, with the new moon happening in the sign of Sagittarius, this is an energy that is expansive, optimistic. Let's see what happens. Let's try it. What if it's amazing? Those are sort of that energy behind trying something new or planning something different or being visionary. Travel and higher education are things that are kind of associated with Sagittarius, looking at your belief systems. And with Venus right there, she adds in this sense of quality and value and love. So maybe there's something you can dream about for manifesting a fun vacation that's going to help you feel cherished, or there is a square with the lunation with both Saturn and Neptune. So there's like this piece of what are we building, but then again, what are we dreaming, and connecting this into Venus next to the new moon happening. Maybe there's a way that we don't get carried away with the Sagittarius energy, with the Saturn keeping us in check, because certainly we will be dreaming with that Neptune there. Next up, we have the winter solstice. And when the sun shifts into the sign of Capricorn around December 21st, that's when we start winter in the northern hemisphere. It marks summer for the southern hemisphere because we're now tilted away from the sun. So the sun just has this little bit of arc in the sky versus this big arc in the sky during the summer for us. Capricorn energy is about being the boss, taking charge, doing the hard work, that stoic, I need to show up, I need to do these things, I have ambition, I can put my ducks in a row, very masterful type energy. And when we look around, it's kind of stark right now. A lot of the leaves have fallen from the trees, and the trees do that to conserve the resources. So there's definitely this slowing down, this going within, restful time period during the winter for us. This past month, my husband and I, we went to Newgrange, and this is in Ireland. It's about an hour drive north from Dublin. And Newgrange was built around 3200 AD. So it's about 5,000 years old. And it's absolutely fascinating. This black part here isn't original, but these white stones were shipped in from quite some distance. And they had these things called curb stones that kind of help hold and tuck the whole monument together. And this was built by the Neolithic peoples. So you can see this beautiful etching within the rock with swirls and spirals. There were diamonds and chevrons and all sorts of artistic things as you walk in. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because in 1967, the archaeologist who was working with Newgrange had heard from the local people about something happening around that time that was special. And so he happened to be in the area over that winter solstice, and he witnessed an amazing phenomenon. Because of the way the monument or the tomb is built, there's something called the roof box. So the roof box is right here, this opening here that is above. The stones are all sort of vertically oriented as like this chamber that you're walking towards. It's a passageway. And so you can see in this diagram, this is a closer up view of the roof box, and the sun enters through the roof box right here. And it goes along the floor of the passageway and it opens up into a chamber directly ahead. And there's also one on the right and one on the left. So it's sort of like a cross configuration. And how they figured this out is incredible, because what it does is around 8:58, around the time of the winter solstice, there's a couple of days before and behind that we have this event happen. The sun will just start to show, I'll show you a picture. It's like a little pencil thin illumination as the sun walks up basically this pathway. And the chamber, we had about maybe 20 people in our tour group, and we were all kind of clustered in there, and you had to kind of step away because you didn't want to block the sunlight. And they simulated this for us. They turned the lights off inside the chamber, the tomb, and they demonstrated how this light would just start to creep up the pathway. And it would start around 8:58 a.m. And then for 17 minutes, this direct sunlight illuminates the whole chamber. And there's these beautiful 3 special swirls that are highlighted. And we don't really know what they were doing and why this, how the artwork connects with potential ceremonies they had or whatnot. But they did say they found 2 dog remains in 2 of the wings, and there's about 200 different genetic material. So it might have been some sort of communal grave where they maybe celebrated people who had passed or whatever. We don't really know exactly, but for sure, this does mark the sun connecting to the winter solstice, where it says shortest day of the year. And it's really interesting. There's a lottery that you can enter to be there during the winter solstice, and it has to be sunny, which, you know, we had a couple of days like that in Ireland, but beautiful, beautiful place. But it's really an amazing phenomenon. So as we move into the shortest day of the year, but it's also the return of the light too, because we know that each day for us in the Northern Hemisphere will get progressively lighter and lighter, which is amazing. So I wish you all the best. I thank you for traveling with me this year through the different moon cycles and happenings with the planets. And hopefully, in some ways, this has enriched your understanding of astrology and how it could potentially help you and help you be more aware of things. And it's really fascinating how the human, like with the whole Newgrange thing, being sort of, it felt like it's almost passing on this information, because when we know there's also two other places really close to Newgrange by the River Boyne. One is dedicated towards the equinox, and the other one is dedicated towards the summer solstice. So it's kind of like a big clock center where they could understand what's happening with the time frame with the Earth and the journey around the sun, and really being a seasonal helper. So to pass on this knowledge generation after generation, and efforts to preserve humanity, because there wasn't a Meyer back then, you didn't have food, you're going to probably die. So it's just really fascinating to me. So as we step into this quieter time, this more still time, I send you all sorts of love and joy and huge blessings on your 2026, and all the best to you. So hope you have a fantastic holiday season, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Hey friend, it's Shalene
and Michelle, and we're excited to tell you about our Wholeness Library membership.
It's a vast library of videos and holistic tutorials with experts around the world who teach everything from energy healing to Reiki to chakra work, mediumship, guided meditations, and more.
With our Wholeness Library membership at just $5.55 a month, you have access to all of that online, plus monthly live Zoom meetups and our app for learning and healing anywhere, anytime.
No pressure, just love. Try us with a free 7-day trial membership, and you can cancel at any time.
Come to thewholenessnetwork.com and enjoy everything from A to Zen.
See you there.